Live trainings this February, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. Ash Knows Travel.
Get ready to lock in and change the travel industry. Welcome to Ash Knows Travel. The future of travel has arrived. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthrough, and insider tips to help travel advisors book smarter and build confidence. In tonight's training, all about how to retain agents, giving a clear path to success. Now, I love this topic simply because I feel like I play a huge part in retaining a lot of agents, by me providing trainings, providing insights, and sometimes even side conversations with you guys. I feel like it is something that I have a very good heart in because I understand the value of what we have here. And if you didn't know about value, as a travel advisor, check out my training that I just did on Tuesday, where I actually really went over our value and our identity. Now, I'm going to take that a little bit further, and I'm going to tell you guys now how to take that for yourself and then turn that into your agents, giving them that clear path to success that we are also defining as we continue. Tonight, we're going to be talking about leadership, communication, systems, and the small things that make a big difference when it comes to building a strong, loyal team. If you're live here, you should already know what to do. Go ahead and drop a quick hello in the chat so that I know that you are here. And if you happen to be watching this on a replay, make sure you comment #replay so that I know that you stopped by. Now, of course, before I begin, I like to show you guys what I'm doing for next week since we are now on Thursday. I have a lot of exciting things coming up here for the next week. I actually have, we are doing week 4, Scale and Simplify. We're going to talk about how to market groups. I feel like that's something that we all really need to know how to do because there is a lot of profit potential in groups, okay? So I want to teach you guys how to market it. I'm going to teach you guys how to market before, how to market during, even how to market after. I'm going to talk about all of that. And then continuing, on Thursday, we're going to do a live travel Q&A with all of you guys. I'm just going to go live and I'm going to answer your questions. I feel like at the end of the month, it's good to do that so we can go over everything. And if you missed anything, I can help you. And then on that Friday for Evolution and Archer, I'm going to also be doing on Corporate Zoom how to market affiliate links. And that's going to also cover the before, the during, and then after the bookings too, to all the different affiliate links that we have. So I'm going to be covering a lot of how to market next week. But for tonight, we are going to be talking about how to retain agents. Yes. Let me share my screen and then present. 1 second. Go. All right. So let me check that. Oh, yeah, it looks nice. All right, perfect. I'm also let me make sure it's right before I continue, yeah? So tonight we're going to be talking about how to retain agents. This is probably one of my favorite topics that I cover. I used to do this, my first corporate training I ever did was a team building training, and this was the topic I covered. So it's kind of old school for me, but if you're new here, you are now going to learn how serious I am about structure, direction, and momentum. I am really big on systems, and I love to teach them to my new agents. So I'm going to just kind of give you a quick run through of how you can, help your retention. I'm also going to talk about things that I do when it comes to retention. And yeah, I'm just going to share some good information. Okay. Now, here's the fun thing about this. Okay. So when I built this training, I built it in the sense of an engineering plan, okay? And we're gonna really go through different phases because I don't know why. I wanted to set it up something I'm teaching you something, but I want you to understand the phase of what I'm teaching you, okay? So tonight we're really talking about the architect of agent retention. We're gonna talk about how to build structure, direction, momentum for your team, okay? I love this, it's so cute, isn't it? Methodology, we're teaching retention engineering, okay? And the next step for them is execute foundation phase. So let's start with the first one. Now, the diagnosis, why structures fail, okay? A lot of people automatically assume that agents quit because of money. That's the reason people automatically assume, oh, well, they didn't make any money. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. That is not the real reason that agents quit. Agents quit way faster because they feel lost. If there is no clarity provided to agents, they will just get stuck in a path and then they'll wait for their monthly payment to be due and then they'll cancel it, right? There's nothing that kills it faster than confusion. Confusion kills momentum faster than any type of failures that they might have as an agent. Now, inside of that, why does the structure of getting a new agent and why do they leave? What is actually failing in that sense? No clear next step. That is 90% of what I've been told. Okay, I talk to new agents all the time. It's probably one of the most common set of people that I talk to when it comes to like my new trainings and all of that. I hit a lot of new agents, and a lot of them will come to me and they'll be like, okay, I don't know what to do next. What's the next step? And I can only go so far. I'm not their mentor, right? I don't want to overstep. So I get that frustration that they're feeling because I could not imagine not being able to have a next step available when I first start, right? Like we need to know what we're doing. Now, on top of that, another reason the structural fails is because there's no visible progress. They are not being celebrated enough. Nobody's noticing what they're doing. So they just feel like they're just making these like small wins, but it's not a big deal to them. They need to see the actual progress of what they're doing. Lastly, the lack of direction. Sometimes when new agents sign up, they don't understand what they're doing. I have had a few calls where people will be like, oh, yeah, I don't even know what to do after I get my certification. Like they should have that next direction. So that's really what we're going to go over tonight is how to prevent this from happening. Now, retention in itself, guys, it is a clear pathway. It is not a personality because I feel like sometimes one of the most common things I've heard in the last 4 years I've been here is that, oh, she's just really good at retaining agents. That's not true. It has nothing to do with who she is. Okay. I don't even know who she is, but that's my point. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay. Retention can be done by any team member, team builder, whoever you are. It is about creating a path for them. And in that path, they have to have structure, which is their framework. They have a direction, which is their goal. And they have to have momentum. They're like completing things, the speed of them keep going. Okay. It's not about being available 24/7. It's about engineering and creating that visible path for them. So when you're not available, they know what to do. Now, I'm going to tell you the rule with this, okay? If they can see the path, they will walk it. There will be a few that you will have to pull along. You might have to give a little extra care to. But most of us are adults around here. And if we know what to do, we go and do it, right? A lot of the times they lack that path. And sometimes it's not even the lack of path. You could provide them with the entire pathway and they might just be like lost, right? We have to go back in and just reinforce it. Nope, this is what we're doing. Have you done that yet? Where's this at? Show me where it's at, right? You have to be a part of that path. That's all we're doing as mentors. We're not doing any of it for them. We're not going to go get them clients. We're not doing any of that. We're mentoring them. We're showing them the path to success. Now, part of the path, okay? I break this down. I think it's like 6 phases total, maybe 7, I don't remember. But I have a path of what I take when it comes to the phases. My phase 1 is obviously new agent phase 1 for me, okay? But my phase 1 to retention is, I'm going to be honest with you, I have a very strict pathway for this, okay? I have a good ability to bring on a high amount of agents out of time, okay? When you do that, you have to weed out who actually is doing what, because a lot of the time you might spend too much time on a person that's not even serious, right? So before building, we need to assess the ground conditions. What are they here for? What do they want? What is their lifestyle? Are they a go-getter? Are they laid back? Do they seem like they need a lot of attention? Do they have goals? What are their goals? Why are they here in general? Like that's a big contributor right there. Why are they here? If you get somebody who's here because they want to start a business, you are golden, okay? They already know. They know the expectations. They know it's going to take a while. But you cannot create the same plan for somebody who wants to start a business for the same plan of somebody who's a stay-at-home mom who's looking for extra income. Can we agree? That's the problem. That's it. That is it right there. We give them a new agent packet and we go, all right, good luck. Let me know if you need anything. That's not a path. That's just a packet of things that they can do, but that's not the path that they need to take as agents. Now, a lot of us, okay, a lot of us found our path on our own. If you are experienced, you found your own pathway. And it's not that our mentors didn't mentor us, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. We didn't have the idea and the knowledge of having a pathway. Nobody told us about having a pathway because they were trying to find their pathway, right? But now I feel like we have a very established path. Like if you've been here with me for the least 6 months, you have a very established path, or you have a good idea of what your pathway is, right? And I highly recommend having that before you team build, because it's going to be very overwhelming if you are trying to establish yourself while you're team building. Like it could be a little like, not like, you have to really pace your time that way, right? I can tell you now, as someone, I was very close to platinum. I was 20 away from platinum at one point, okay? And when I was there, I was not ready to be a platinum. I did not have structure. I was just building. I was just booking. I was not retaining anyone, either agents or clients. I was just out there, trying to make it. And I'm honestly, this is going to sound a little crazy, okay? But I'm kind of glad I didn't get platinum at that time. Now, do I want platinum? Absolutely. Like right now, yeah, I would be a fantastic platinum. But at that time frame, I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have none of this. And when I was bringing on people, I was just giving them the packets and going, all right, cool. That's not what a mentor does. And I mean, you really don't have to mentor them even to a point. Like 90% of the agents that I have, I brought them on, I taught them what to do, and then they're off on their own. All right, bye. Like if you need me, let me know if you need anything, because you guys tend to become independent. That's what it is. And that's basically what this is, right? We're independent contractors. So yeah, we get a little bit of guidance and we get the lay around, but then we kind of go off on our own, and that's okay. But if they don't have that set foundation, they have no ability to be successful because they don't know where to start, right? So we're going to talk about that. Phase 1, survey the land. Relevance here. Before building, assess the ground conditions. Stop giving everyone the same cookie cutter plan. So when they arrive, this is what we need to talk about. We're going to qualify them. We're qualifying everybody we talk to in 2026, okay? Even our new agents, let's qualify them too. Are they booking focused? Are they team building focused? Are they content focused? Maybe they already have a TikTok and maybe they're doing well on it. Are they just testing the waters? Now, depending on where they are at is depending on how much time I spend on them. Yep. Yeah, no, I mean that. And I really decide on how much time I spend on someone and if they actually complete the certificate. That is the first path for me. I immediately connect with them. I immediately set the pathway, I set the tone, and then I give them their first step of direction. What are you going to do? Are you going to complete it? Okay, you completed it. Great. Now let's have a talk. Let's talk. Let's meet. Let's have a full conversation, right? And it's not that I don't get on the phone with them. I do. I get on the phone. I'll get to know them, everything, right? But I don't take them serious until I see them complete their certificate, because then I go, okay, now you know what to expect. You know what's going on. You know what this is. You know how to do it. You know what we're here to do, right? Now we can go into orientation. Now, at that point, I can already tell where they're at. At that point, I can tell if they're booking focused, I can tell they're team building focused, or if they're just really here to see if it works or not, okay? I make sure not only I survey the land, but they do as well. Now, after this, okay, have them clearly define what they want in 90 days. Once they complete that certificate, I get them on the phone and I ask them, what are what are your goals here? What are you trying to do, okay? Retention starts with relevance. They need to have a set path and something that they can go back and relate to, that they go, yeah, this is what I'm here to do. This is why I'm going to, make sure I complete this and this. And I have a deadline to complete it by. Okay. Now that's the first phase. The second phase. Okay. Now this is my new agent phase 2 is what I call it. But my new agent phase 2, it's pouring the foundation. All right. And phase 1 in orientation, you get your vendors, you got everything that you need to actually book travel, but now you need to set the foundation and niche down so you can find out who you want to sell the travel to, right? So I send them my training to how to completely niche down, first of all, okay? You don't have to send them my training. Send them whatever you want, whatever your pathway is, okay? But you need to have the ability to teach them how to niche down. The earlier that they niche down, the better the retention is, because they have a focus. And when they have a focus, we can create a plan. And in that plan, we can create content so they can have structure. That's exactly what I'm teaching here. Okay. They lack a lot of clarity and the ability to kind of focus on anything when they don't have a niche. And it's okay if they change niches later. It's okay if that's just not their niche later on, okay? But they have to have something that really kind of sets the pace for them, so they have a goal to market to and who to market to, okay? Now, I have this beautiful picture here. You see this little foundation, how it's cracked? It's cracked because they're selling everything. That's a weak foundation. It's not a focus. It's just, hey, I'm a travel agent. We have this discussion like every other time I do a training. That doesn't get you very far. But if you go, hey, I book travel, I am an adults only specialist, I focus primarily on all inclusives, sounds a lot better, right? So we have to give them that ability to create that kind of confidence. And we can only do that with clarity. That's it. That's what I'm trying to do. We gotta give them a clear path. Okay. So the second part of that path is, who do you want to sell to? What do you want to sell? And what direction do you want to take this? Are you trying to do a lot of bookings? Are you trying to set your platforms up? Like, what are you trying to do here? Okay. Now, in this phase 2 that I do, I teach them the abilities of how they can access different platforms. I show them different platforms, and I kind of trying to set that up. But let me see if I go into that. Yeah, I go into that in phase 3. I guess it's not a video. Phase 3 really isn't a video, but basically what I try to do is get them to know why they're here, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to sell before I continue and go, all right, go on social media. Now, there's a reason I do this, okay? There needs to be a primary platform. And I have been here long enough, and if you've watched enough of my trainings, you will know that not every niche works on every platform. Like, there's certain platforms that do better with certain niches, right? Like, if I had one time I had an agent that wanted to do historical like tours, I think what it was. And I was thinking to myself, that would work great on TikTok. It wouldn't really work great on Facebook, but it probably would work better on LinkedIn. Like I was sitting here thinking, like, where is this audience lay? Okay. You have to do that as a mentor, because they don't know that. They have no idea where they should go. Okay. So I like to suggest one main platform, and then you can have them sign up for other platforms. Like, if they want a Facebook business page, cool, fine. Right. But I try to teach them one main platform so that they have a focus and they have a pathway and they know where to go and they know where to exactly how to post on it. Like, I really go into it on the platform. Okay. And be honest with you, most of the time I suggest TikTok, and I teach them a lot of the times how to do faceless content because it's easier for them in the beginning. That's just what I do. Okay. You don't have to do that, but I teach them exactly what to do in that sense. Okay. That is my job as a mentor. The faster, and I want you guys to think about this, because a lot of you guys, you guys don't want to do this. And if you don't want to do this, you probably don't want to watch, right? But the faster I think of it like this, the faster I can get somebody set up, the faster I can teach them how to market, the faster I can get them marketing, the faster both of us can start making money. Can we agree? When you have that mindset, it changes the idea of how you train someone, because you're like, oh crap, I need you to make money for me. I don't want you to make money for me, but I want you out here, get booking, let's go, I'm sitting over here training you. I need to earn my 10% too. So it should motivate you to be better mentors. That's the part of the mentoring I don't understand sometimes, because you should want to help your agents. The better you help your agents, the more you retain them, the more those commissions checks come in. Okay. We just got paid commission. Listen, I had a nice commission check. Okay. And some of it was from me. Yeah, I had a few bookings pay out, but a lot of that was 10%. And that 10%, it might sound small, but it can add up very, very quickly. And you can't get 10% from agents that you don't train. That's it. If you are not out here helping the people that you are mentoring, they're going to fall off because they don't have a path. That's just the truth. Okay. So phase 3, one main platform. Sorry if I keep messing with my hair. Listen, I straightened my hair today, guys. Oof. This is not me. It feels so weird. Okay. One main platform, one growth strategy, and one posting rhythm. And I actually go in there and I have a full thing for them, and I'll show it to you. But I literally sit down and just say one thing. Okay. One focus, one platform. All right. scattered effort equals burnout, and in-depth information and like showing them exactly what to do is going to equal that income that you want. Okay. That's what I call the rule of one. And I try to teach this in a setting of like when I first get them, I tell them like, hey, three things one like for one day. I want you to complete three things a day. That's it. I don't want you doing any more. I don't want you going off and trying to become a Disney specialist. If that's what you want to do later on, that's great. But right now, we need to set up everything so that you are able to book. Because if you can't book, you're not making income and you're learning for free. And we don't want that, right? That's what I try to get to them. I try to get them, hey, you have a plenty of time to learn, but first let's get you selling so that at least while you're learning, you have bookings to make, you know? All right. So what I do with this when it comes to the one platform rule, I ask them to at least be consistent on the platform for 30 days before they come to me and tell me it doesn't work. Because a lot of them will post for a week and they'll be like, it's not working. Yeah, no, I know. You just started. Of course, they don't know who you are. Okay. And I don't really have this problem because I set proper expectations. If you do not set proper expectations in the beginning of what's going to happen on this process, you're going to have a lot of people come to you asking questions on why it's not working. Why is this investment? I did it. It's not making money yet. Like you have to let them know this takes time to build. Okay. And if you are a new agent and you're watching this, please understand it takes time to build. Okay. It takes time to build your team. It takes time to build into bookings. It takes time to build everything. But I can tell you as somebody who's been here for 4 years, it was worth all the time it took. Let me tell you, I'm about to hit 4 years in. I'm listen, okay? It's only February and I've almost got my eye tan. Listen, okay? Like we're not even on the last pay period for February yet, okay? You just have to trust the process and you have to convince these agents to trust that process too. Not really convince. I say convince because you're going to show them the path and that's what's going to convince them, okay? I don't want you to like drag them along, but if you're constantly showing them how you're winning, you're showing them how you're doing it in the process of you, like, like bring them along with you and then let them implement what you're doing in the process and it's going to help you. Okay. So let's go to phase 4 because I can keep talking. All right. Phase 4. Here's my structure. This is the posting rhythm that I teach them. Okay. Framing the content structure. Now, I don't ever just go in there and tell agents just start posting. Okay, don't do that. All right, you have to have a strategy to start posting in order for it to honestly work. It's not going to work if you have no like actual structure behind it. All right, so phase 4 is framing the content. It's structuring how they're going to kind of do their plan for marketing. Now, this one right here is going to really be for online. If you get people who want to do like in-person marketing, then it's a completely different plan, but I'm not going to go into all those details. Okay. So if I were to have somebody that obviously wants to, do like online marketing, I'm going to teach them what I have, like the 3-post system, right? That's my 3-post system. Now I know it has 4 here, but this is like actually like kind of like how the post is going to be in a way too. Like it all has to have a call to action, right? But this is how we build up into like the actual like getting the agent or getting the clients, bringing in people, etc. Right? We warm them up with connection. We build into our expertise with authority. Then we gotta have that engagement going. We can't really do too much engagement in the beginning, but then we're kind of trying to pull them in with engagement and of course having like the mock booking at the end, right? Like that's how I always build into it. And that's how I teach them too. I teach them like, hey, you can't just be out here posting whatever. You got to have like a purpose behind that. And I only want you to talk about this. I don't want you talking about anything else in the process. Just post this. Okay. And I know it works. Okay. I have a lot of good agents. Okay. I know it works. Listen to me. All right. So then after that, I map out 1 week of content with them. I don't really go into exactly how to create it. I actually have a training that teaches them how to create it. But it's the 3-post system. Okay. That's the training if you ever want it, but it gives them it comes with an exact structure that teaches them how to post that. And I feel like it's a really good training for them in the beginning because it takes a lot of pressure off of them. Like when they understand that they only have to post like 3 different technically things, like one has to be like a warm connection, one has to be an authority, and then one has to be like, it creates a rhythm for them and it creates a path for them so that marketing doesn't feel overwhelming. That's what it does. Okay. That's what I do in phase 4. Continue. All right. Phase 5. Now we're starting to like build into it, right? By this point, they're probably like a few weeks in. maybe a month or so in, and they get stuck. This is where it kind of, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know, you got your agents, they get settled, they set up their platforms, they're starting to post, and then they're like, okay, what now? What do we do now? I need help getting clients. Like, I had one agent that texted me at 1:58 in the morning and was like, I need you to help me market my business so I can get clients. And I replied back with, well, I need you to complete your certificate so I can do so. It's so bad, but like, I have to set that standard, okay? Like, I know what you want from me, but I can't give you any of that until you do what you're supposed to do, right? And that's just me being a mentor. And you might have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you will lead into a pathway where you have to set boundaries, right? Especially texting at 1:58 in the morning. We don't do that, but my phone's on do not disturb, so I don't care who if you text me or not. But my thing is that we have to have that path. And no matter how many times they want to push me off that path and they want me to be like, hey, you know, I want this, I want you to do that. No, we can't do that until you've done what you're supposed to do. Okay. So let's talk about adding levels that are going to be deeper than just setting up the foundation. All right. Let's say they're months in and now they're getting in there. Okay. We have to teach them the entire process. It doesn't stop at, all right, you got your first booking. They need to know what to do after that as well. So let's just say we're starting here. Most agents, they have not many issues getting their first booking, right? But then they get stuck after that first booking or they're getting their first inquiry, like they get stuck somewhere in there. So we have to be able to always show them a next step and a different level of progression. So first I start off, they get their first booking, okay? This needs to go well. And I make sure with my agents that it goes well. And then I lead it to referrals because I want this booking to refer them to other people, right? And then I want to make sure they're also following up with them, but I need to make sure they have a system. And then with that system, they need to make sure they're scaling it. And then they have that specialization of their niche. Okay. It all kind of builds into a path. But like if they're stuck here and finally they got their first booking, a lot of them will go, okay, well, what do I do now? Okay, well, make sure you get them to refer you or start talking to them, build into it. That's not just a one-time booking. That's where a lot of agents get stuck. We can't just have one-time bookings anymore, okay? So define their next measurable milestone. Always, when you get off the phone with them, set up a next pathway for them, okay? People stay when they see advancement. When they are accomplishing something, you know how it is. When you get your first booking, you know that feeling where it's like, oh man, that was great. Okay, now we got to do it again. So we need to have a pathway. This is the next steps that we need to do. That's exactly what I'm referring to. All right. Now, number 6. This is the part that a lot of mentors miss. And I have been here, like I said, for 4 years, and I still sometimes miss it. And it can really be detrimental to a new agent. And I think it's because we are so used to accomplishing things that we forget how big a small win is for a new agent. Can we agree? Like, I feel like, oh, you set up your Facebook, great, right? Like to us, that's like, oh, okay, cool. But to them, it's a big deal to set up a Facebook account. To them, it's a big deal to get somebody to comment on something, to get them to like something. Like that's just something that kind of drives them, and it's very important for us as mentors and very important on the path of retention, keeping them as live active agents, right? We have to always inspect them, see what they're doing, and then celebrate all of their early wins. This way they can see the blueprint. This way they can see how it works. They can see, oh yeah, that's right. We wanted to do that. You did it. Congrats. Now this is what we're going to do, right? First inquiry, first booking, first referral, right? That is what we're trying to build them into. Now, with this, we do not chase them in the inspections, okay? When we're meeting up with them, we don't chase them. We don't beg them. We don't lower our standards. We just give them a path. And any movement that they do, we celebrate it. And we definitely don't want to celebrate any kind of like excuses, okay? Like, oh, well, I just didn't have time. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But when you're ready, make sure you've done this, this, and this, right? Therefore, you're not kind of feeding into it. You don't want to feed into the excuses too much because it'll create like oh, well, she understands. Like, I'll just do it when I want. No, we don't want that, right? We want to still have that momentum. So like, hey, no, I totally get it. Life happens, but I need you to do this, this, and this for me. All right. So with that, make sure you always have the next step. And for this setting, when I do this, when I meet with them, I always make sure that I kind of set up something for them to do. So normally at this part, when they've now gotten their first booking, they got their first inquiries, now we need to see what's working. So I will set up one performance metric that they must track weekly. So whether that's comments, whether that's just engagement in general, whatever that is, and I need to see how their marketing's working. Like, there's a lot that goes into this inspection. Okay. Like, I will literally tell them, before you call me, send me your, whatever you're doing, send me what you're doing, because I need to look at it so I can help you fix it. If I don't see it, I can't help you fix it. You know what I'm saying? So I do that when I inspect them. Yes. Okay. Now, with that, okay, when we get them on the phone, we want to make sure that we are only path managers. We are leading them. We're not babysitting them. We are providing clarity. We're providing structure. We're holding them accountable when we're giving them perspective. I have been here for 4 years. I can understand how you feel, but this is what you need to do. That sounds better than, oh, come on, man, right? You got this. Let's go. Like, no. Dragging them, posting for them, any of that daily motivation, making them want it. You can't do that. You can't. If somebody has to want this in order for it to work. Can we all agree? In order for this to work, you have to actually want it, and you have to actually want to put in the time. And you can't make somebody do that. At the end of the day, that is one of the biggest things that we have to learn as mentors. We are here to guide, and we bless and release. Okay, go do your bookings. We got you. Okay, if you need help, I'm here. Right? But we can't babysit them. That's not, if you lead to a path of babysitting, you are going to be like drowning as a mentor because you're tired, right? You are running your own business. You have your own family. You have your own life. Don't let that lead to a babysitting situation. Okay. Guide them, lead them, give them a path. And in that, you will see that leadership is just a straight direction. That's it. You lead and then they execute, and they can only do that if they actually want to. Now, I will say, with this, okay, we established all of that in the beginning. We can establish what motivates them. We can establish what they want, and we can establish their niche and everything inside that. So you shouldn't have this problem, but I just want to make sure I set a clear expectation of what you should do and a path of retention, right? Because a path of retention can either lead to you constantly calling, constantly following up, and then they end up quitting, or like, like if they don't want it, they don't want it. That's it, right? So let's just make sure we're guiding them on the right path and let them decide how they want to focus it. But we want to be the ones that are guiding them and saying, hey, I got you. This is your next step. This is what you need to do. Right? Now, with that, we need to pay attention to the red flags. I like to do the red flags because I have been in so many scenarios where I've been like, man, if I was just paying a little bit more attention, I could have prevented that, Like if I was just actually focusing on what their actual needs were instead of just trying to give them a step, I could have prevented this. So I like to give you guys the red flags. I'm actually going to do an entire training on this. Okay. I don't know when I'm going to do it yet. It might be for next month, but I'm going to do a red flag training for clients and agents because I feel like a lot of them give us red flags sometimes. Okay. But behavior shifts before exits, and a lot of us miss this behavior shift. So I want you guys to learn how to kind of spot the issues early. If you see them no longer posting, or if they're inconsistent, or if they're struggling with it, that's a red flag. If they are constantly comparing themselves to you or to other agents, or how they're not getting bookings. Oh man, I can't tell you how many agents message me this. I'm not getting a booking yet. I don't know. And then I'll be like, oh, well, so you haven't gotten a booking yet? And listen, I'll be talking to them. They'll be like, oh no, I got a booking like a few weeks ago. I'm just like, I haven't gotten what you got. Of course not. I've been here for 4 years. Of course you haven't gotten what I got. Do you think I got it all at the beginning? No, I had to work for it too, right? That can fix that entire thing right there. Like I've put so many agents in a spot where I'm like, hey, hold on. I've been here for 4 years. All those leaders, all those people that are making money, they've been here. You have to give yourself time to grow too, right? Shiny object hopping is what I call that. Shiny object hopping is when they're not really doing anything consistently. When they're out here, you see them doing one thing, and then the minute they're doing something else, and now they're setting up their link tree, but they didn't even finish the link tree. Now they're over here. They decided to build a website. That's a red flag for me. I have to go, oh, hold on. I need you to do one thing at a time. You are doing too much. I need you to stop. I need you to slow down. You have one path, and these are the 3 things I need you to complete. When you complete them, let me know. That is a part of our mentoring, putting them back where they were, right? And then lastly, avoiding action. If I notice that I'm constantly on a phone call with somebody and they're constantly, I have to tell them the same step. All right, we'll talk. Have you done it yet? If you haven't done it yet, then we're going to have a conversation. Why? What's stopping you from doing this? Like, what's going on? And that's a part of the mentoring too. Accountability. Like, I have to hold you accountable because I'm telling you what to do and you're not doing it. But yet you call me every week and you're like, oh, well, what do I do now? The same thing I told you last week. You just chose not to do it, right? Like, that is a part of the conversation that we have to have sometimes too. Lastly, silence after feedback. Sometimes when we give them feedback, it's not what they want to hear, and there's silence after it. And I want to make sure that they understand. I really make sure I set a tone, and I understand that I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to put pressure on you. I'm just here to provide you guidance. And I've been here for 4 years. I know what works, and I know what can make it to where it works for you. So let me help you, right? You have to create that openness for them. All right. Now, lastly, the fix. Recenter them on one simple action immediately. That is the best way you can fix that. I promise you. And the action doesn't have to be a huge action either. I just had an agent call me the other day and they were like, I need help doing this. What can I do to start making money? Okay, fine. What's your niche? They told it to me. All right, you need to do a TikTok. That's where that is. And then I told them exactly how to do a TikTok. And then I told them exactly what to post. Now they have a pathway. That's all right. I need to go TikTok. Okay, cool. Now you have a simple step in front of you that you know where to go, right? That is how I prevent them canceling because they have something to do, right? And it's not like we're giving them things to do that's not going to help them. No. But a lot of the times, I mean, think about it. How many of us have ever started a business and we've had somebody that could go, oh, actually, this works a lot better if you do it this way? Nobody, right? So it's easier for us to explain it to them in this sense so they have an idea of, okay, this is where I actually need to go. Now, with this, okay, it goes a little bit further when it comes to the red flags. The biggest red flag that a lot of people kind of struggle with is going to be their identity, okay? A lot of people, when they first start, they start with the mindset of, I'm trying this. Like, I'm just trying this out, okay? When we feed them steps, they're just building skills. They don't understand the purpose of what they're doing, okay? So it's very important for them to understand that the mindset shift of, I'm not actually just trying this, I want this to work. Like, this has to work. It's not an option. It has to be a part of who I am. I want this lifestyle. I want this income, okay? When they do that, it shifts the mindset of, I'm not just here to try it. I am a travel advisor. I own this. This is who I am. Confident messaging, professional tone. Okay. I tell them to kind of understand it in a sense of value. And I talk about that on Tuesday. Okay. But you guys have to kind of pour that value into them so that they understand their worth as a travel advisor. And that really helps with retention because they're able to kind of see the bigger picture and not just, here's another step, here's another step, here's another step. No, the reason we're doing this is because you want to make income. This is the platform that you need to go to make income on. This is where it's hot at. As your mentor, I'm guiding you over to this place. All right. Now, for this, to fix this problem, I do have them update their bio to reflect their authority immediately. And I have them kind of start that in the beginning. Before we start doing anything else, I always have them update their bios, update their pages. So that way they can learn to see how they identify themselves and others can see how to identify them as well. All right. Now, we're almost done, okay? This is kind of like the last few slides here. The whole point of what I'm trying to get to, okay? The whole thing that we're trying to do here is we want to set the foundation and then kind of build into the blocks of it, all right? We need to set the foundation of what to expect and then how to build the consistency of what's expected through our systems and our messaging. And that kind of setting is what builds that agent that wants to stay. When they can see what's expected of them, when they can see the path, when they can see how their consistency is paying off, they will be able to see, the final blueprint to that. Now, they will not be able to see the final blueprint if you guys are changing it every week. So make sure that you are very stable when it comes to as a mentor. We're not friends. We're not, we kind of grow into friends, yeah, but we don't want to start that way, right? So your stability, your professional tone, your consistency, and even you setting expectations helps create the stability that they are looking for. And it's going to kind of also help create this confidence that you will have as a mentor. And that can also really help retain them because they can see how active you are. Now, the real retention formula. Okay. Lastly, this is it. So, first of all, everything that I've covered so far, as you can see, is a clear path. They have a path. There's always another step. There's always another part that we can take, in for marketing or getting new clients. There's always another level to it, right? So, that clear path is going to lead to the clear standards. And these clear standards is what we expect of them as agents. We expect them to learn, we expect them to book, right? We expect them to market. Like we have to set those standards so they know exactly what to expect. With that, we're providing them with the clear next step, right? And it all kind of goes in hand in hand. Okay. So structure, which is right here, creates the stability, which gives them direction, which creates growth and momentum, and that creates the retention. When you give them a direction, they will give you loyalty because they feel like they're taken care of. And the more you think about it like this, if you were to go work for some large company and your employer actually sat down and was like, no, this is actually how you do it, and this is how you become good at it, wouldn't you give your loyalty to that company because they taught you the pathway? It's the same thing for us. All right. So that is all I really have for you tonight. Make sure, of course, that you guys join me next Tuesday, where I'm going to talk about how to market groups. So I will see you guys there. If you have any questions, I'm going to head over to my chat box now. So you put them in there and I will answer them for you. Other than that, I will see you guys on Tuesday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll head over to my chat box now and I will meet you there.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard.